floods in buildings can get very expensive. The cost of the IoT sensor in that system is so minuscule compared to the cost of those floods.
Correct. Yeah, we're not talking thousands. We're talking hundreds of dollars, not thousands of dollars, right, for a sensor. So we do leak detection as well. And we've saved hundreds of thousands of litres of water only just through understanding what is the regular flow of water in a pipe.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, bang, there's this huge increase in water. Send out the alerts, send out the SMSs, right? And let's fix this problem.
Welcome to the Let's Talk Facilities podcast, the podcast where we explore the insights, innovations, and impact of the FM industry. My name's Aaron.
My name's Ben.
And today we have Bob Sharon from Blue IoT. You thought this one was an interesting one.
I really like this one. This one was down my alley.
Yeah.
Very technical.
Whereas it went over my head a lot of the time. But I asked some questions that may have seemed like the dummy's guide to.
We found out what IoT stands for, which is?
Internet of Things, not information of technology.
We also talked about indoor air quality.
Yep.
And IoT's role in that.
Yeah, and what to do with data once you've got the data, because we collect a lot of data a lot of the time, but what do you actually do with it? And I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, and then finally we also talked about cybersecurity.
Yeah,
so
and a bit of indoor air quality. It was a really great episode. Here's Bob now.
Looking for the buyout then? Just be open to change.
Just so good to spread my wings. I actually had to learn to do it because I have a question to every...
My brother had mushrooms going in his car.
Fantastic spreadsheet is like gold.
Water starts pouring on me.
It's such a rewarding career.
Drag them down! We love you all of our customers.
Well, welcome Bob Sharon from Blue IoT.
Thank you very much for having me. Much appreciated.
Yeah, thanks for coming in. I'm excited today to be talking about all these IoT sensors and the networks and
for the first time ever in the history of our podcast, I'm probably going to be the quiet one.
So, I mean, this is the world that I love. I love that technical and all that type of stuff. Yeah. So, yeah,
I'm going to be like the dummy who will be like, what does that mean? And the first question I've got is, what does IoT stand for?
Well, that's an easy answer. It's called Internet of Things. And let me define Internet of Things in the simplest possible manner.
Yeah.
It is stuff connected to each other over the internet. Here's my phone. That's a device that's connected to the internet.
There you go.
Hey, presto. It could be a sensor in a building.
I thought it was information of technology.
No, definitely not.
I had no idea. Okay, I've learned something already.
You've got like smart
I've
power
heard of
switches
Internet
and
of
that type
Things. I heard of Internet of Things, but I didn't know. Yeah. Like I just didn't really think much about it. So there we go.
Yeah. Well, I try to give it the simplest definition. There are some people who will give such a long definition you'll need 50 engineers to change a light bulb. Yeah. So I'm just trying to keep it nice and simple.
Basically, it's any device that's somehow connected to the internet.
Correct.
Whether that be through Wi-Fi or another technology.
Yeah, it could even be wired really, but anything connected through the internet. So, yes.
Okay, fantastic.
There you go.
Over to you. I don't know how to ask a follow-up question.
Well, it won't be boring.
It won't be.
So tell us. Yeah. So Blue IoT.
Yeah.
What is it that you're doing? What are the IoT sensors?
Well, we basically cover a whole bunch of stuff from indoor air quality to energy to water, occupancy, even waste. And moving into HVAC, connecting a BMS system.
What is a BMS system?
Good job at clarifying.
Building management system that controls your building automation, your HVAC and lighting systems and so forth.
Yeah.
So that's basically what it is. So it's a smart building platform to inform, to visualize data in one place and integrate it from multiple sources, some sensors from here or from there or from other places, gather it so people can see what's going on.
Yeah, so it's like the commercial version of Google Home.
Yes.
Really?
Yes. It's the commercial version. I like that. Yeah. That's a great definition. Is really,
look at you go, man.
Yeah, I love it.
This is my thing.
I know it's your thing. So
that's the best definition I've heard. That's beautiful.
You can. He's going to copyright it. Is it basically to help building and facility managers become more proactive rather than reactive? Because I'm imagining before having sensors, I only just heard of a building that that now has sensors on all of their rat traps all throughout the inside of the walls and everything. So now they know when a rat trap goes off, whereas they used to have someone come through every couple of days to check every rat trap. And so that was a very reactive way of doing it. Now they're saving money because they're proactive, and you only have to go and get the rat trap once it's gone off. So I'm assuming that's what the purpose of it is.
That's right. Well, there's two purposes. One is to inform, just like, and you gave a very good example. And the other one is, okay, well, now that we've been informed, okay, now we want to make informed decisions.
Okay.
What should we do? How can we become more sustainable? How can we save our energy? How can we save our water? How can we
save the rats?
Yeah, how do we save the rats and the mice and the cats and the dogs and
That's
whatever
what they're
else?
asking. We don't want to kill them. We want to...
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, that's what the building I was
Release them into the competitors' building.
Yeah, I like your style. That's good. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. But then with that, we can take it to the next level. Okay, well, what happens when we add AI to the picture?
Yeah.
That's another discussion. What else can we do that is smarter, and how can we tie in all the information from all parts to even make more informed decisions? How can we make our places healthy and safe for people? Right. So that's the other thing. There are a lot of people who are immunosuppressed, people who are undergoing treatment, and the quality of air is becoming so important. And that's another big area that's up and coming, and you're going to be reading a lot more about it. And I know you've already heard a lot about it. Watch out, the Mack truck is coming here, and that's for the good of everyone. So people can be healthy and not be afraid to go to a place, a building, an office. Or
Something else I've heard, and it might be becoming more and more common, I'm just not 100% sure, but there is a building I'm aware of that they have the IoT sensors for moisture, for water. And basically what it does is it prevents the building from flooding, because as soon as it senses water, it will automatically shut off the water. And so, then of course it's controlled the water leak. And, floods in buildings can get very expensive, the remediation. And so, I guess comparatively to the cost of the IoT sensor.
That's part of one of the things we do. We live it every day.
But the cost of the IoT sensor in that system is so minuscule compared to the cost of those floods.
Correct. Yeah, we're talking.
Why are you telling people about
that? we're talking hundreds of dollars, not thousands of dollars. Right, for a sensor. Okay, then you hook it up onto the system and you put in your gateways and you do whatever you need to do. But yeah, it is. It's not expensive at all. So we do leak detection as well, and we've saved hundreds of thousands of litres of water only just through understanding what is the regular flow of water in a pipe. And then all of a sudden, bang! There's this huge increase in water. Send out the alerts, send out the SMSs, right? And let's fix this problem.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, so you potentially don't even need to go down to the sensor level. You could potentially just put it on the
well, there is a sensor. There is a sensor, no, but what we've done is because it's not just enough to have the main, so we've installed water meters with a pulse reader on it. And then we run a LoRaWAN sensor, because then it's wireless and it goes off to the nearest outdoor gateway.
So hang on, I know what LoRaWAN is, but we need to explain to the listeners.
Sorry.
LoRaWAN, what is it?
LoRaWAN is a long-range wide area network. It's an IoT Internet of Things protocol, communication protocol, and it's radio. So it runs under 1 gigahertz. It is totally separate from your Wi-Fi or IT network. It is
Do
radio.
I pick it up on FM or AM?
Good question. But none of the above. None of the above. 915 megahertz to be precise.
91.5.
But it is radio. It is encrypted. It is authenticated, and it's non-IP. So cybersecurity is great. And it can go up to 10 kilometres from a sensor to a gateway.
That's incredible.
In the outside, in the building, can go up to several hundred metres. and it's low power. So we can have batteries in them. We don't have to wire them up, and they could run up to many years.
Could anyone access it? Like I'm assuming when I hear radio, I think, well, I can tune my radio to anything, or I can get a radio, two-way radio, and tune it to pick up a police radio, right?
Not this, no.
Not the same. Okay.
No, because the data is all encrypted, and it goes from a sensor to a gateway, and then from the gateway to a cloud platform where everything is all
AWS. It's all proper.
Oh yes,
it's all proper.
And it is highly secured. So no, you will not be able to get into it.
There you go.
That's awesome.
So we got onto the radio LoRaWAN,
which is one of several protocols. You've got other things. You've got Bluetooth. You've got
Wi-Fi.
You do have Wi-Fi, which is on the IT network, and then you've got Zigbee. You've got NB-IoT. You've got a range of what we call IoT protocols.
Yep.
We evaluated so many of them 10 years ago, 9 years ago, and we just found that. Mostly, not in every case, LoRaWAN is just so versatile, and it is used all over the world. It's an open protocol. Everyone around the world uses it. So you can buy sensors from any service provider, and you're not locked in. You can buy a gateway from one service provider. You can buy, maybe air quality sensors from one supplier. You can buy energy sensors from another, or you're not locked in. This is the most important thing. Interoperability is a big deal. Yes. We don't want people locked in.
So the secret sauce is really just in the software, isn't it?
Yes.
It's not necessarily the hardware.
But we got onto that. So you were talking about how your sensors are picking up this, they're sending it.
Yep.
What's next?
Okay, so
the workflow.
So the data's been sent. You've got to determine how often do I want to send that data. Yeah. And that will vary upon a requirement or whatever. Every site is different. That'll be worked out. That's fine. So data goes from a sensor to a gateway, and the gateway, it goes over 4G, and there's another protocol that is used, which is well secured and well known, called MQTT. I won't go too much into that, but it is common and it is used around the world, and it is secure. And it goes from there to our AWS data center, and we can put that on any AWS data center. And so it's secured in there, and then it gets ingested into the platform that we've created. And look, there are probably hundreds of platforms around the world, and we're not the only people doing this.
No.
And so it then gets ingested and then visualized.
Yes.
And so this is where...
That's what the FM cares about at the end of the day.
That's what the FM
what they can
cares about.
see.
Not only what they can see, but what's important is what happens when something goes beyond a threshold. So setting up an alert... is critical, and one of the common problems in FM is when there's a critical alert, and we learnt this the hard way, your SMS boxes and email and mailboxes get full because every minute you're getting these alerts, and then people don't bother looking at them because they suffer alert fatigue.
Yes.
What we did with that, because we learnt the hard way ourselves, we said, oh no, how do we avoid this? We set what's called a delay. And so what we've done is a cooling down period. So we say, okay, for this critical alert, how long do we want? So we might say 30 minutes or 1 hour. If the alert or the condition is still active, it still won't send anything for that period of time. You're not going to get bombarded.
Yes. Okay.
Right? That solves one of the many problems in FM, but that's one common problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, as in it's just be pinging your phone. Like
I know, and we had the same problem. Like we it was horrible. Yeah, it was horrible. We had problems, and people weren't looking at anything.
As soon as they see the notification once, they're going to deal with it. But pinging every 2 seconds isn't going to change them not seeing it.
Yeah,
they're going to see it when they see it.
Yeah, exactly.
I imagine that's where AI though would be helping, because it would be able to take a lot of those. If there's a lot of signals coming in, it could then look at other things and go, okay, no, this is the situation, and now I'll intelligently tell you.
It could once it's applied, so that's definitely true. But up to now, that hasn't been. Now, of course, we're going to be able to do this. Yeah. I agree with you, because then AI, as you train it, it doesn't just come magically out of the box.
Yeah.
But yes, as it gets trained, absolutely. You'll be able to do that, and we're already, preparing some things
Yeah.
around all of that stuff. But yeah, AI is going to be a great help with all of that. But this is a very simple way to deal with that problem. And you can also do triaging. So you might say, I want these 3 conditions to be met before I want the alert. So the beauty is you give more power back to the FMs, because they might need 2 different activities to take place beyond a threshold before they want an alert for that particular situation.
Yeah.
So, for example, mould, right? So it might be high TVOC and high humidity, 2 conditions. If those 2 conditions are high, you might want an alert. So that part of the building might be subject to mould, and you don't want to be waiting.
And they've been high for an extended period of time.
Correct, exactly. So they're these multiple conditions, then they can be alerted on. So that makes their job so much easier when they've got these alert conditions in there. Yeah. And then at least then, rather than waiting for someone to complain or something's happened, we can be a little bit proactive. There's still more that can be done on the proactive front, but at least as soon as the alert comes, right, something's gone awry, let's get onto it and not wait till complaints start coming because the water's, leaked out of the
up to their
the main
ankles.
chiller pipe and the chiller's now gone out on fault.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And so you mentioned before how LoRaWAN is a separate sort of network
Who's she?
to Wi-Fi.
Yes.
LoRaWAN.
Yeah.
So, because obviously a lot of organizations don't want to be adding these type of devices potentially to their Wi-Fi networks because, they're running secure networks and they don't want vulnerabilities, right? So how do you actually get around that? Obviously you got the LoRaWAN.
Yeah.
But how do you communicate that to customers, and how do they then, a facility manager might want this, but how do they get that across the line to their...
Well, that's actually an easy one, to be honest, because we don't touch Wi-Fi in any way, shape or form. We're on radio. We're not on an IP network. So Wi-Fi sits either 2.5 or 5 gigahertz. We're sitting at 915 megahertz, and it's RF. It's radio.
Okay.
It's authenticated. It's encrypted. It's on an entirely different type of network. The two cannot meet.
Okay.
So this will pass any IT or group within an organisation because they don't have to worry that they're being exposed.
Never the two shall meet.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, so there isn't any vulnerabilities of that device being compromised and then them being able to gain access to...
No,
the rest of the company's data.
Yeah, exactly.
No, we secure it. So even the data itself is encrypted and it goes all the way even to our platform, which has plenty of security in it as well. Everywhere there's security, right? It's not an if question, it's a must.
Yes.
Right? Well, for us, this is not a luxury. Cybersecurity is an absolute must.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right, I've been involved in the space since '93. I'm showing my age. So we supplied the first commercial firewalls back then.
Oh, there you go.
I was starting prep.
Yes,
I was 3 years old.
I'm showing my age, but anyway. So it's a must. So that's an easy discussion to have with any IT group. Given I also come from IT, but it's a great story in this security side.
Okay, and you mentioned that there's the 10-kilometre range. So is that obviously for a building in the city? That's fairly easy to rig up.
The 10 kilometres. Yeah, let me qualify the statement. Yeah. In the bush, line of sight, you'll get 10, maybe 15 kilometres. Yes. Not in the CBD. So I just want to qualify the statement. That's why I said inside a building, it could be up to a few hundred metres.
Yeah, okay.
Depending how much metal there is and concrete and all those things. But just to give you an example, on a school that we're working with in the Gold Coast, we've got 6 outdoor gateways over 24 hectares.
Oh, wow.
And basically we can be pumping stuff into any building.
Yeah.
And they've got, I think, almost 40 buildings.
Okay.
Because it will go through the glass and through different areas. So it's quite a flexible
and so
protocol.
Using this school for example, you've got all these gateways, you've obviously got a lot of sensors. What are they using it for?
Yeah.
What are they trying to? What are we measuring?
Okay, well in this
what
case,
are the sensors?
Oh yeah, you're gonna love this. I'll start with vape detection in toilets and change rooms.
Yeah.
So that's one of them, and the other one is indoor air quality. So we're monitoring CO2 levels in classrooms and extracting. We've got several rooms where extracting the CO2, and we've been quite successful with that in building what we call a standard operating environment.
Yeah.
I used to work in an office, and mentioning vape detection, and all the people used to vape at their desk and then blow it into their shirt. Now I'm imagining sensors, it'll stop them.
Well, I won't tell you what you breathe in with that, but that's a separate discussion.
I don't think anyone wants to know.
I've been learning about that lately, but what we also do, so CO2, and that's the marker for poor ventilation, but also if CO2 is too high, like it was before, up to 2,000 or 3,000 parts per million, then it will affect you. It's like you're in a meeting room with 10 people. After 1 or 2 hours, you know what happens.
Oh, yeah. Capacity to take anything
you go
in.
off to sleep, exactly. Same thing. That's why when CO2 levels get too high, it causes a problem. We're monitoring for volatile organic compounds. We found problems in off-gassing off chairs, matting on the basketball court.
What do you mean by off-gassing off a chair?
There's these nasty gases that gets emitted from the plastics that
they're just coming out.
They're inherent,
right now.
Yeah. Well, it dissipates
like
over time, but they can be lasting for months, sometimes years.
And they can increase with direct sunlight and heat?
That's possible. Yeah. Well, this was all indoors. And the same with matting. There was floor matting, right? Doesn't matter how many times you clean it.
Our favourite. We love a floor mat.
It was horrible. And it went through the roof on the volatile organic compound scale.
Wow.
Then we're measuring particulate matter for dust. We're measuring, of course, temperature, humidity, and then we go into water. So we're measuring water flow. We're now measuring height of the bins to work out when the bins should be collected, the garbage in the bins, and energy in 20 of the buildings. So looking at the total energy for those buildings. So that's currently in that particular school what we're measuring.
And what has this meant for them as a school?
Well,
what have they been able? Is there some ROI there on it for them already?
The ROI on it already is the fact that they're building a healthier, safer school for their students.
Yes,
and they are now considered by certain authorities known to be world leaders in the space of indoor air quality and innovating in that space. So. You'll see them in upcoming studies and research that will come out, but they are certainly leading the way because they care. They're a private school, a beautiful campus. It's just a joy to go out there. I love being out there.
I imagine some other ROIs though would be like around that waste management stuff.
Yes, so we have an ROI prediction for what we want to do here, and we're looking at around about a 2-year ROI. In fact, we might even bring it down to 1.5 on the waste because they use one of the big, organisations to pick up the waste. But, like anything, they don't care and they're spending a fortune. And so what we're wanting to do is to mitigate that. We've actually got a new prototype coming from the United States. We can apply this on top of any bin. This is the beauty, the flexibility. And it will scan in your bottles that you put in and only let you put in the right bottles that are scanned in. So because those bottles can be then properly returned and recycled.
Oh, yeah, wow.
So
I imagine it would help with the frequency of bin collections. I remember the school that I went to when I was in high school. There was one particular skip that we would watch the truck come pick it up and nothing would ever be in that skip. But they would empty the skip and nothing would fall out and we'd be like, why? Why? But every week or every couple of days it would get emptied for no reason.
Well, you know what that reminds me? Every time I stop at traffic lights, I'm thinking, hold on, I can turn right. I got a red arrow. There's no cars coming. Yeah. Give me a break. We're wasting and polluting the air. We're doing this. Why do we have to sit here and wait?
Yeah.
And that's a classic example of waste.
Yeah, and
that's completely off topic, but I wonder if AI is going to if they're going to implement that at traffic
I'd
lights.
have AI cameras, there should be
about
AI
that.
cameras on the lights, and that should then control the lights when beyond the norm. If there's no traffic coming, alter it, and let's not waste.
The amount of times I've sat at a traffic light and there's no cars anywhere.
Yeah.
I know, it's
or
annoying.
there's cars everywhere and everyone's got a red.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
like, what is going on?
I know.
Anyway, off topic.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
IoT, yeah, we're back.
I love it.
That was my fault.
Can I just drill down for a second on the bin sensors? Is that also like it senses how full a bin is?
Correct.
So that
It's an ultrasonic sensor, and so it looks down, and then it can tell roughly. And we only need a rough guide.
Yeah.
Exactly how full and what percentage high.
So it tells the cleaners or whoever to go empty that bin.
Yep.
Specifically, don't waste your time doing.
Well,
these
we
ones.
would, and we all the clients rather would set. Okay, at what height do we want to send an alert, and to whom do we want to send the alerts?
Yeah.
And that's fine. That's excuse the pun, a mechanical function.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So
You'd have a lot of different relations and stakeholders, because you could be, for some of these sensors, you'd be working directly with general cleaning companies as opposed to the actual tenants of a building or a building manager or an FM. They might not even know.
Correct.
Like, if I was a general cleaner, for all of our general cleaners that are listening out there, if I was a general cleaning company, I'd be going to you and saying, hey, put this in every one of our bins, because that'll save us time on the ground with all of our general cleaners. They're going to know when to go to a bin.
Yeah, that's true.
And it will save time and money.
I'm sure there's sensors that would pick up when the toilet roll is empty.
Actually, there are.
Is there?
Even the soap,
Is it another ultrasonic sensors?
Yeah, there are dedicated sensors for those purposes. And yes,
and
they
so
are.
as a general cleaner,
you want
I'd
to be
be
able to
thinking,
convince them it's not a camera.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I hear you. Yeah.
Trust me. Okay.
Cameras in the toilet. Yeah, right. I can see that going down well.
if I was a general cleaner, cleaning company, I'd want to be thinking, okay, well, what ways could I be using sensors in my processes?
Yeah, definitely.
So there's lots of stakeholders you'd be working with, for sure.
Absolutely. Well, the other thing, again, this is a more interesting one, because quite often when there's cleaning going on, the TVOCs, the total volatile organic compounds in the air from the dirt and everything that's been cleaned, and the chemicals being used
The fumes,
normally goes right up. So can imagine for the cleaners themselves, that would be a WHS issue.
Yeah.
And if staff are around the building at the time, again. So, what better methods would there be to mitigate those risks? Both for the people in the building and for the staff, doing the cleaning.
Yeah.
So that's another big deal that a lot of people have not considered.
Yeah. Well, I was just telling you before about carpet cleaning. Like most companies are getting steam cleaning done still, which is such an archaic process.
Yeah.
And that steam cleaning leaves the carpet wet for 72 hours. The high pressure water, it pushes all the particulates into the air. Like, it's just a nightmare for indoor air quality.
I can imagine.
And so I'm very interested to connect with you post this to chat about how we can work more together, because
absolutely.
I think it will be interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
That's another side topic. Very much so. So I can imagine we live in a world where, like, I've got dashboards for everything on my computer, right? Like I'm in a space of data overload almost. And I can imagine there's people that either they just don't have any data because they're living in an archaic world, or there's people like with too much data and they don't know what to do with that data. Tell us about this.
Okay. Yes, indeed. So you've got the first batch of people who have so much data. They've got 20 different platforms and 20 different dashboards and going from here to here. And, well, they're so busy fixing problems, putting out bushfires, just keeping the place going.
Yeah.
They haven't got time to be sitting around interpreting all this data. Like, if there's an emergency on something, okay, what's happening with the water here and what happened with the damper on that, or, whatever. But they haven't got time. So they're just fighting bushfires. So that's a real problem. So ideally, everything would be centralised into one place where all the data can be gathered and correlated, and then rather than them waiting to or not having time to rather have the platform and or people behind the platform to come to them and say, look, you got some of your data suggests that there could be a problem either with this, you probably got a stuck damper that's stuck 50% of the way in, or, you've got a couple of these other problems. Can you just check this or this, and you'll find that problem will go away. But, until they check 20 things, they might get to it eventually, but it's going to cause a lot of headache in the meantime.
Yeah.
And they haven't got time. So they need someone else, a partner, that can help them with centralise everything in an open, interoperable form, not some proprietary form, and then come back to them with these suggestions. That's one. Then you've got the people that don't have data because they just either don't have any budget because to them it's not a high priority, and they haven't got a budget to spend $50,000 or $100,000 to measure all your power for all your infrastructure. So, for pumps, you're chewing too much power, or a chiller or something else, and then your water flow, your water leaks, and then your air quality, all the other things, because some people don't consider that a priority. And then that's worse because they're really flying blind. It's like flying on instruments in cloud on a plane, but you're not a pilot.
Yeah.
You're going to crash the plane because you don't know how to fly through cloud.
Yeah.
So in that event, they're just waiting for a catastrophe. When something happens, then they call for help. I'll get the contractor out. I'll get the BMS guys out.
Yeah.
And it's hard. And that means everyone suffers. There's more downtime. There's more maintenance. The maintenance bills will be horrible in a place like that. And it'll just keep getting worse. And the assets won't live their full life.
Yeah.
That's the other problem.
Yeah. This might already exist because I'm not the most techie person out there, but I think sometimes, like when I open my home screen of our app and I see our dashboard, sometimes it's just like, I see this every day. Nothing is changing drastically. And you become sort of numb to the dashboard. And I wonder whether there's a time coming where instead of having a dashboard that's the same, it's got the same data on there every day, your dashboard is the living almost ecosystem that will give you information as it's needed. So, for example, like all the rat traps are empty right now. There's nothing even on the dashboard about rat trap.
Yes.
And then as soon as one's there, then now there's something on my dashboard about the rat trap. And
it's
so
like
everything in my dashboard is sort of like my email inbox, which I have folders for, and whatever's in my normal inbox, that's my to-do list. Whatever's on my dashboard is my to-do list.
I feel like you're just taking this moment right now to tell me what you want.
Yeah, I want this for us. But like,
I love
is this how it operates?
I love it. Beautiful question. Couldn't ask a better question.
Because I've seen buildings where it's not. They've got their screens where there's things up, and it's just like, wouldn't you just stop looking at it after a while?
Yeah, well, that's right. So what you want is, like you said, something living, and I know we're evolving into that. We have aspects of that now. I'll give you an example. If you've got a critical alert, then automatically on the high critical alert, we get a flashing banner up the top.
Yeah,
and
like
it's
that.
flashing.
Yeah.
So you know if there's a flashing banner, you have a problem.
Yeah.
And then you click on that banner and it takes you right to the actual alarm and the problem.
Yeah.
And then you've got to acknowledge it and go. So that's the first step. That's the entree, right?
Yeah.
We haven't got to the main course. We got how many current live alerts have we got? And there's a number of platforms that do that part. I've seen quite a few. But then what we want to take it to, as you rightly say, is look at unusual traffic. When I say traffic, unusual numbers, and then it will come up and on the side wherever it will then start suggesting, hey, there could be some problems here in real life because, and this is where we're moving to, not in the coming years, months, because that's the way it has to be. It can't be the same all the time. It's like your dashboards as well. Right, and what you want is you might say, well, right now I just want to see this dashboard this particular way because I want to see all the, the energy or the air quality sensors in this form. Can I have that, please?
Yeah.
So we're able to do that today, right? That part, but there's elements we haven't done yet, and then we're working towards that. So I think that's a genuine question that everybody should be aiming for.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
That's That's my question.
Yeah, love it.
I'm
so
done.
relevant. And every FM would love that too. I mean, because if that can serve them better, and every FM, like every individual, is different. They visualize things differently. They want to see things in a different way, rather than getting this dashboard that can only be seen this way and this way only.
Well, and I can imagine like having a number. Yeah. I don't know how you read the indoor air quality if it's a number or something like that, but
set of numbers.
If it's a set of numbers and it's green if it's healthy, it's red if it's yellow if it's starting to get dangerous, whatever. Yeah. But like, if I really wanted to know what was the set of numbers right now, I'd click a few buttons to get there.
Yeah.
But I don't need it constantly in my face.
No.
Unless it's a problem.
That's right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's exactly how it should be. Yeah. That's logical.
Yeah. And it's I guess we're evolving as people in society with software and stuff like that, because there were limitations once upon a time where you could only get a live read and you couldn't be as living and you couldn't be an ecosystem. But now it can. Yeah. And so that's where we're heading.
Well, that's right. So typically it's getting more complex, because some customers will say, oh, well, we've got a data lake. We need the data sent there, but there's some other data we want to pick up. We want you to pick up from here. So you've got to have an API.
Yep.
And so not nothing, but in many circumstances, it's not quite so vanilla.
No.
And so then, having people that can handle all that without going to 20 different companies, which costs a whole lot more and a whole lot more time, and people are time poor. Everyone's time poor. They haven't got time to organise 5 companies to get to the bottom of a problem, right? Yeah. It's getting too hard, or to visualise something. They just want the simplest path, low resistance, competitive cost, best ROI to get to where they want to be. That is, improve their sustainability, reduce their costs, and improve health and well-being.
Yeah.
So you mentioned before about indoor air quality, and what you're doing in the school.
Yeah.
You mentioned before we hit record that you're doing a PhD. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Do you want to speak more to
Dr. Bob?
Bob the Builder. Yeah, well, I don't recommend my medical services, but take it at your will and at your risk. But I'm not there yet, so I've got a bit of a ways to go.
Yeah.
But certainly working and doing this under a fantastic lady, distinguished Professor Lydia Maruska out of Queensland University of Technology. Absolutely amazing person, I would say foremost in her field of indoor air quality, and leading a Australian Research Council project called Thrive IAQ, of which we're an industry partner, and really looking at how can we establish new standards, regulations to live by for indoor air quality. So mitigating the risk of transfer of viruses and bacteria in the built environment. There are many people who are immunosuppressed, people who are undergoing treatment. They should be safe walking into a building. Right now, if the ventilation quality in, say, one part of the building is poor, and you're walking across a hallway from someone and they happen to have pre-COVID, you're probably going to catch it if the air quality is bad. And people who are immunosuppressed or more susceptible could die. Yeah. And so air quality isn't a luxury, it's a right. And this is, why we've been involved and done a lot of work in this space with the school in the Gold Coast, Somerset College, who are leading the way out of all the schools. And Thrive AAQ is doing amazing leading work in this field, and all the most eminent people in air quality together are working in the space, and even were involved at the recent COP in the United Nations last August, September, whenever it was. So they had a room there for the air quality side, and looking at global standards as well in this space, because that's what we're trying to do, develop new standards, and she's certainly leading the charge.
Yeah, fantastic. How interesting.
It's a privilege to be involved in this, actually,
Yeah.
That we can play a small part in this.
Yeah, and so I know that since COVID, everywhere you go, you see those like air filter machines in waiting rooms and in houses everywhere, office buildings. We've got one in the room right now. They become more and more common.
Yes.
Are they doing anything?
Well, most interestingly enough, at the recent conference I attended to, and this actually was at Parliament House last early December.
Yeah.
The latest research suggests, and there was another conference before that in Melbourne, was that a single unit of a portable air purifier can oftentimes cause more damage.
But why?
So
It's the way the air flows. This is starting to get beyond me after at the research. But what was said was if you have 2 or 3 of them in a room strategically positioned, then they could actually be useful. But then the cost to maintain them, especially when many of them use HEPA filters, becomes ridiculous.
Yeah.
And most people don't bother changing them, and they become again a hazard.
Yes.
So ideally, you get rid of any portable unit and try to have something put in, whether it's additional special filtration in your split unit if you can.
Yeah.
If you've got commercially, you've got either the package systems, you can do
filters
things
on
and
that,
you can put things in the ducts, and that's what we try to do. Look at the best systems to integrate.
The UVC lights.
And there are some really amazing things out there. That's certainly one of them. And there are some really good induct units, as long as we can be measuring the data from them with a high-level interface and then visualise it, either control it directly or have the BMS control it, either way, and get the right one, because there are many that are not fit for purpose. So, for example, you might get not enough air flowing through, and therefore it's not doing it, or the air is flowing through too quick and it can't kill the germs and the bugs. And again, so there's a whole lot of science in there that I probably know a quarter of a percent. And I'm learning, and learning at least from some of the greats in this field.
Yeah.
But we need to understand and provide the right fit for purpose solution where there is a problem in a building.
Yes.
Because some places in a building it's fine, ventilation is great, but others it's not.
Yeah.
And we need to measure it throughout the building to understand what is going on. People think, oh, well, we've got a CO2 sensor at the return air and that's all we need. Well, it might be okay, all you need to run the building management system, but not for the building health and safety, it's not.
Yeah. And so if I was a facility manager out there and don't know where to start, if you were to come into a building, where would be the place that you would start?
Is this for air quality?
Yeah, sorry, air quality.
Okay, because
or just more broadly, they want data on their building.
Yeah, they want
more broadly. I guess I would find out. Well, what data have they got? What are they measuring? So that'd be my first question. So let's start with
nothing.
Okay. Okay. In that worst case, well, the first thing I would be suggesting is, well, we want to see if we're wasting energy and water. So we want to be measuring your major pieces of infrastructure for power. And your mains.
Because that's like the biggest bang for buck.
Yeah, that's
really.
right.
Yeah.
Well, we were measuring power at, actually it was a City of Dandenong site, Drum Theatre. And the power quality was horrible. And so we found there was a problem with power factor and was costing them more money. So we had to then develop a solution for power factor correction. And put this huge thing in.
I don't know
what's
what
power factor?
That power factor is the well, in lay language, the quality of the power coming in from the utility. If it's dirty, then perfect power factor is 1 right? Yep. But when you've got a low power factor, it might be down to 0.8, 0.85, 0.9 even. It's not good, and then that means you're paying that extra to the utility. For that, because they're losses, right?
Yeah.
And you're paying for that. So then if you put power factor correction in, which basically has a whole bunch of capacitors in it, it's a heavy thing, and then as soon as we did that, of course, that improved, and, we save energy, we save money.
I need that on my house.
And so that's one example.
My power bills are atrocious.
You for a home, I don't know if you put power factor correction, but for the home, we've got one of those little what do you call it? Sensors that connect to the box. And then we're monitoring it. We can see how much energy we're using. Really handy.
Just to put it simply, is that power factor? Is that you're paying basically for 1 kilowatt hour, but you're only actually getting 0.8? Is that
correct? Commercially, in homes, it's not like that.
Yes,
but so in most cases, commercially,
losing 20%.
Yes,
and you're not actually even using it.
Correct.
Yes.
Wow.
Correct. In most commercial examples, that's how
so
it
that's
works.
a big bang for buck.
Well, that is if there is a problem. In many places, it's not. So it kind of depends. Yeah. But after power, we'll look for water. But then, of course, air quality now is massive. And then what we want to do is, I'll probably bring a little portable sensor with me just to get a feel for it, see how it is.
Today.
Yeah, actually I should. Feel for it, see how it is, and then recommend solutions. But it depends. Unfortunately, most organisations don't place a high priority on air quality.
No.
It will have to become like fire, compulsory.
Interesting, yeah.
And then they will, but it is a major health and safety issue, and I always bring it up. And if we can, then we can, there is an audit. So we can leave a whole bunch of sensors for a month, pick up all the data, work out where the problem areas are. And we've got it 24/7 on the platform.
Yeah.
And then recommend, okay, here is where the problem areas are. Let's monitor those areas permanently and put solutions in place.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because health and safety, honestly, this should be, not only for guests, but for staff. It should be a WHS issue of the first order.
Yeah.
Well, and you'll get more productivity from your staff if you keep them healthy.
Actually, research. I'm glad you mentioned that because I saw a talk by a very senior person from the Well Institute.
Yep.
And the research they've done found a massive difference in productivity. And that's exactly right. And the evidence is all there.
Well, if you think about it from the school perspective and if the CO2 levels in a classroom are high, it's going to make the students drowsy. They're going to be more tired.
Especially when it's 2,000 to 3,000 parts per million, which in some cases it was.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah.
In a workplace, it would be a similar thing.
Well, yeah, imagine like all those buildings where you're in meetings for in the morning. You always have meetings in the morning for some reason.
Oh yeah, and you're all stuck in a little room. Yeah,
and then by the afternoon you're exhausted and you can't actually do the stuff you've committed to in the morning meeting.
Yep.
So improving it will get more.
Exactly.
More
that's just CO2, but then you've got the other stuff to measure. So we, and that's again what you want to do depending where you are. So it's a fundamental thing today that we really need to get onto and not consider it a luxury.
We've got a problem in our office that we run out of coffee beans a lot. Can you get us a sensor so that our boss will make sure we get coffee beans?
I'll probably get a little ultrasonic
all
sensor.
The time.
Yeah, get a little ultrasonic sensor.
This morning there were no beans and we were all a bit tired.
No, that is catastrophic. That should be a critical alert.
And our boss didn't hear the end of it, did he?
No, you should make penance for that.
Yeah. We got some on Uber Eats.
Which probably wasn't good for the environment. So
coffee.
Oh yeah, that's shocking. Oh yeah, running out of coffee beans. No.
Yeah, yes. Which also limits productivity.
Oh, definitely. I couldn't agree more. Yes.
So tell us a little bit about to sort of wrap up because I know we're sort of getting close to the end.
Yeah.
Keeping all the data safe.
Right.
Because I think that's what people care about. And we've touched a little bit on it. Yep. It's been a thread that we've woven through. But, yeah, how do we know that our data is going to be safe?
Good question and an essential question. So everyone typically handles it differently. So firstly, with what we're doing, the data we capture, firstly, is data from the building, not individual names. Now, individual users that we have is all in a particular section that's covered by all kinds of security within AWS, Amazon Web Services, because our platform sits on that, because that way we can scale it out to other countries, which we're starting to do.
That's the world leader. It's the standard.
AWS, I've got to tell you, I admit I'm one-eyed, but we get great support from them, and they're committed. We work very well with the team from AWS. So hats off to those guys. Free commercial for them. Yes. But at the end of the day, we've got dedicated security for the users. So they've got their own two-factor authentication and going through the process and registration in the same way. But then all the data is kept, everything's encrypted, either way, if it's going anywhere to anywhere. Again, it's going through security and it's all protected. So there's protection at every layer, and that's fundamental. So
because I can imagine that even though it's not data that really is interacting with their business critical data as all their secrets, buildings and building management probably don't want some of the information about their levels, and they don't want their other buildings knowing that or other people finding out.
Well, we're working with one of the major hospital providers, and with that security, again, an IT in this case, because we're talking BMS as well, building management systems, IT is very concerned naturally about cybersecurity.
Yes.
And so in that sense, if we're transferring BMS data, for example, somewhere, again, the security, and there's additional security layers and devices that go on before it even gets sent out to ensure maximum levels of security to the satisfaction of the most detailed IT people to make sure that they're satisfied that every aspect of cybersecurity is well protected.
Because I can imagine like what you were talking about before, where it reads the moisture levels, and if there's too much moisture, it turns off the water, or it can turn on the water, or maybe turn up the water. If someone was able to hack into the system,
that's true.
They could flood a building on purpose.
That's correct.
They could turn on the sprinkler. Like how? That's the sort of security I think
they could shut the power even to the chillers. Just imagine, and shut the power, for all the important infrastructure.
On a hot day, crank the heater. That would be tired.
Oh boy. Oh yeah. That would be horrible.
Yeah.
So well, I've heard. In fact, when I've spoken on the topic of cybersecurity, I remember some of the slides I had, and one of them was where the hackers got into a power utility.
Oh.
And they blacked out. Was it Finland?
Wow.
It was a huge area, and they blacked them out for like several hours.
Wow.
Yeah. So this stuff has happened. I mean, we've had our own incidents here, a la Optus. And I think Medibank was another one, a minor one with Telstra. Quite a few, but those ones were much bigger.
Yeah.
Like serious. So these things are possible. So prevention's better than cure.
And when it comes to those sort of, like everyone's on edge with terrorism and things like that. And so when you think about these things are controlled, like we're getting to a point where AI is going to be what responds to the information on the dashboard. Oh, there's a problem. AI will jump in and fix it. Someone can come in and hack into this. We run the risk of terrorism happening to our people in our buildings in a big arena. It did take a turn, but like that's what I'm assuming people's thoughts are with. Well, when is too much data? Like when is it dangerous for a big arena full of people?
And that's where user roles are very important. What users have access to which. So this is where you don't want a blanket. Like you got regular user or you got admin. That's not enough.
So, and everyone shares the admin user. We've got the one email address. Password 123.
Exclamation mark.
The classic. That's right. Exactly. So you want different roles for different people who have specific rights to do certain things for certain pages. And that way you don't have everyone except, absolute few people that are on the trusted network that has access. But again, security is paramount because you're right. These things are possible. Absolutely they are. And it needs to be prevented. So IT needs to be involved to ensure, in these buildings that's covered and working together with the heads of FM. For a long time, the two have not met in many circumstances. And I come from an IT background, and yet I'm now I'm involved in this side. So they've got to come to work together in a cooperative sense rather than a power sense.
Yes.
Because there are some people, and it's a human trait that can happen, where certain people want to maintain the power, want to maintain the control, and that's not a healthy thing. No. And we want people who are collaborative and who want to achieve a solid outcome. Yep. Right, working together. That's the only way we can really go forward.
Yeah,
100%. And it's sad, but it is the case where most of the times these departments are so siloed and they don't understand how to work together.
No.
And it gets in the way of getting really good quality outcomes for buildings.
Correct. And it is a problem. Or the other one is, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Sure, you never heard that one before here. No, it's working. Nothing's happened yet. That kind of doesn't work anymore. You can't live by that. So they're things that we need to change in this country. Those attitudes, and that's that. We can't keep going like this. The siloed mentality. And the if it ain't broke, don't fix it mentality.
Yeah.
We need to go on a path of managed innovation, not innovation for the sake of it, but innovating in a way that will add value. That's what's important.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming onto our podcast. I've learned a lot.
I've learned some.
If any of our listeners were interested in being able to gather more data or install sensors or even make sense of the data that they have, how do they reach out to you guys at Blue IoT?
No worries. Well, firstly, thank you for having me. I've really enjoyed this. It's been an absolute ball. It's been a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. In keeping with company policy, our staff has to have fun and a good sense of humour. That's part of our company policy. So check out our website. We have two. One's the company website, blueiot.com.au, but our new website, encompassblue.com, is our new website. So check that out. And my mobile is 0407 245 335 and bob@blueiot.com.au, BLUEIOT.
We'll put all that information in the description.
We say that. I don't think we ever have actually done
those that. Those who are editing will listen to this and know to put that information in the descriptor. And but thank you so much for coming on.
It's been great, and thank you for having me. It's been fun. I really appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Awesome.